This is Frank Nieto with Vision Quest Auto, and today I'm with my son Holden, and we are going to review the Ford Maverick. This is the XLT Lariat version, so it's top of the line. We go through our review. We're going to talk about some of the pros and cons, who I think this is for, do our special Vision Quest Auto rating for the week. So let's get to it. So it has a similar look to an F-150 or more a Ranger in my mind. Actually, I think it looks a little Silverado-ish. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But it definitely has a pickup truck look. It doesn't, it's got these C-style headlights that Ford trucks have. So it does have a similar look. It definitely looks like a shrunken version of a Ford truck. It's an attractive car. It's got, its badging, similar styling cues that you'll see in other Ford pickups. The wheels, those are pretty nice. Also pretty similar to other Ford trucks. It's pollen season here in Virginia, so got dust all over the place. It's got the Maverick stamp again. This is all very similar to, if you're familiar with Ford trucks, it has the same style. The tailgate does come down more with a thunk. It doesn't stop the way you would with the Ranger or F-150. There is no step. I think that's just a cost-cutting measure because honestly, this is pretty easy to be able to step into. It's not a big step up. And I don't really think you need to step in because it's pretty accessible from the side. I mean, I can just reach over from any point right into the car, right into the bed, and grab anything you need. So I don't think you need to stand in the bed. It does have the lights up there, just like you'd see in other Fords. But again, this is a smaller version. It's got a small bed, but it can haul a lot in here. I mean, you can get all your sports equipment. You can get a bike in there. It has your power outlet. You've got all your different tie downs. This is cool. This is a bottle opener. You got them on both sides. I think you can also use it for some other purposes, but you can definitely open a bottle with it. Another cool thing that Ford does is if you see right across there, that little gap, you can cut down pieces of wood or metal or plastic, and you can come up with a lot of different ways that you can put barriers in the truck to be able to, in the truck bed, to be able to come up with different slots for equipment. So you have those two there, you have those there, right there. See how I'm going to try to get over here and show you. Right here, these parts you can get right in there, and you'd be able to put in different pieces of wood. You just cut it down to the right size, slot it in, and now you've got dividers right in your bed. Homemade dividers. It's pretty cool. There's also those ones right up on top. So again, if we come in right here, you'd be able to put in some stuff across there, and you can have some shelving. Like Ford really had that. There's different spaces. If you see all those little cuts and lines over there, like right there, that little cut, you can put another shelf in. Ford really did put a lot of thought into this. This isn't just a standardized cookie cutter bed liner. This actually has some thought into it for how to really repurpose your space. Obviously, you've got your tie downs over there as well. You got your different cleats. So they've done a really smart job. It is a small bed, but it's a bed with a lot of thought put into it. You also have your little rear window. So really nice job. There's not a ton on the surface, that really stands out, but then you see these small details that Ford has put in, and it's pretty impressive what they've done. These little things, like this looks basic, but then you see the water bottle space, you see your 3D printer output there. Just a lot of little details for what is essentially a basic little truck. The thing I like about this is, again, even with the styling, Ford has come up with some cool things. As you can tell, this isn't a standard bit. It has this kind of angular cuts and creases on the dashboard, and it just gives it a distinct look. The rivets are here. You got your little change area, another little part, just little nooks for it that are pretty nice to go through. You got your wireless charging pad. This opens up your rear window. You got your USB-A, USB-C, your dual climate control, heated steering wheel, heated seats, no cooled seats. That's to be expected. You do have the start. The auto hold. You've got your stop start. You do have your changes, so you can change different driving modes. This isn't designed to be a heavy duty off-road machine or heavy duty work truck. It's designed to be a utility knife, and for that, it does the job. This has got a pretty small but usable touchscreen infotainment system. It doesn't have the best resolution. It really is on the small side. But it does a good job. Again, it probably keeps the price down. I don't think I'd argue about that. One thing that I would say that it should have, though, is that at the higher price point, you should probably have an option for a larger screen, specifically talking about this. And this is our fat guy in the little coat award. It's just something that doesn't really fit with this car. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know if this was Ford had a different idea of where they were going with this car, but it's really weird. It looks like it has two screens from a distance, and it really doesn't. Like, right in here. I'm not even sure what you're supposed to put in. It's got some stuff that could kind of keep it from falling out, I suppose, but it's not. I don't know what you can really put in here. Maybe your buds or your AirPods. I don't know. I don't know why you'd put them there. I don't think it'd have change here. It's got a little bit of a step, and it's rubberized, but I still think that if you were to brake hard, change would come flying out. I don't know what the purpose of this is. It's really one of the strangest things I've seen in a car in a while, so not a big fan of it. That is our fat guy in little coat winner, of course, named after the great Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, who ripped David Spade's coat on because he was a fat guy in a little coat. So there it is, this weird bit of space. What I do like, though, a piece of space that is cool, is this one up here right above it. This one can, I don't know if it's quite big enough for a phone. You could probably turn the phone on its side, but it seems super useful where you can actually use it. And I like that. I like this. The Bronco did not have this. This is your sunglass holder. I really wish every car had this. Just very useful to me. This texture is cool. Again, this is Ford keeping things down. It's very plastics heavy, and I don't think that there's any hiding this. I mean, it's got a faux fabric look if you really go in on that. Like, you can see that it's kind of got this weird texture. It looks like molded fabric. But it has a cool look to it. Ford multi-tone. This is nice where it's got some metal on the front here. It's a nice touch. This is awesome over here because this isn't the biggest car, but you can fit a really tall water bottle in here. And I'm going to show you on this door when I open it here. Let's go over here to open this. When you get in here, here's the cool thing. You can actually turn a water bottle on its side, get them in there. So when you get in there, you actually have a good amount of room. You can put in probably 3 different bottles, maybe even 4. I think that you can get something smaller right here. You can get a really tall water bottle there, and you might be able to hide 2 more there. So it's pretty useful when you look at how small the form factor of this truck is, that it has a lot of space on it. I also like these rivets that say Ford, kind of look like jeans. Just kind of a cool look. It looks metal. It's not. This is all plastic, and but it's built well. The interesting thing to me about the Maverick is its form factor. It looks like a truck, but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a truck. You know, it's really the size of a sedan, or maybe a smaller SUV, but it has a pickup bed, and that form factor really hasn't been seen in decades. We've seen Subaru have it. You know, there's been, you know, the old Gran Torino and things like that, but it hadn't really been a thing in this century, right? And you know, there was no real reason to at the time. You know, it seemed like if you wanted a pickup, you could just get a pickup. So why the change? I think there's a few things about this. One, I think people are looking to get more efficient vehicles. I think to take better use of the space that they have. I think that a lot of people are living in cities, though obviously I think the demographics show that there's more people outside of the cities, living outside the cities nowadays. So if that's the case, why is there this need for this? Well, a couple things. If you wanted to pick up back in the day, you could get a pickup. Now pickups are really expensive. They've grown in popularity, but as that popularity has increased, so has their prices. So when you look at the fact that F-150s, Silverados, Sierras, Rams are all starting, you know, a lot of times, you know, the models that people would want to buy as their everyday vehicle, being a family type vehicle, are $60,000+. A lot of times they're getting closer to six figures, and that's just out of the price point for a lot of folks. But they still have that need or the desire to have a pickup. And so we've seen smaller trucks come along. You know, the Ranger returned. Jeep brought the Gladiator in. The Colorado continues to remain a strong competitor. Hyundai brought the Santa Cruz in. And it's just had a lot of different uses where we're seeing these smaller pickups out there. But in some ways, those pickups are more truck than a lot of people need. You know, if you just need to go get your mulch, bring it home, you know, occasionally make some stops to get smaller pieces of furniture or anything like that, this size vehicle is perfect for you. You know, honestly, a Colorado is fine for you, but the Colorado, the Ranger are even expensive. And so the fact that Ford came out with a Maverick at such a good price, where it's in the 20,000s, it's under $30,000, really impressive what they've done. You know, it's when you're talking about a brand new pickup truck coming out at under $30,000. The one I'm driving is almost about $37,000, but it's the top of the line version, and honestly, you can get a pretty basic one for under 30. Is impressive, and I think that suits the needs for a lot of people. A more pleasant ride, at least more comfortable ride than your actual pickups, your pickup trucks out there, because it's a unibody frame. This has really been something where you could tell Ford put a lot of thought into this, thought of the use cases for this vehicle. Again, this doesn't mean that, hey, if you need a pickup truck, you should get a Maverick. You may need to get an F-150. You may be doing a lot of hauling and a lot of towing. You know, you may need it as a work truck. And for those cases, the Maverick doesn't quite make sense. It's just a fact. But for a lot of people, this does make sense. If you're just looking to bring some tools along for a job, if you're just looking to go ahead and transport or haul smaller bits of cargo and not really heavy, and you're not doing towing or heavy towing, like, you know, you just got to tow a Sea-Doo, then this is fine. You know, those kind of things. And I think this makes a lot of sense. I've actually talked to a lot of people that I know who are buying these vehicle, the Maverick, as a service truck. And honestly, that makes a ton of sense. We're doing this rating on 80s movies, and you can decide whether this is the ultimate classic for you or not. But I'm doing this on 80s movies, and for me, there's only one choice for what this car is, and that is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Because honestly, Ford shrunk their pickups and somehow or another got a really great vehicle. You looked at the price, they shrunk the price down, they shrunk the vehicle down, and also shrunk down what it can haul and tow, but it's still pretty dang capable. That's what this car is. It's a smaller version of other Ford pickups. I want to get a passenger's point of view. So Holden, how did that feel to you? How does it feel being a backseat passenger in the Maverick?
It's very comfortable and has a lot of leg.
Does it really? Like, would you say it has more or less legroom than the Escape?
More.
More? Okay. What about the Bronco Sport?
About the same.
About the same. What about the Corsair? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you?
Less.
Less? This has less room than the Corsair. Okay. Um, what about the ride? Does it feel
A little more bumpy than the Bronco.
okay? What about the Escape and the Corsair?
Less bumpy.
Okay. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to note because it is technically a truck or a trucklet in some people's minds. So that's interesting to know, just from like a passenger's point of view. What do you think about its looks?
It looks like a mini F-150.
Yeah, is that good or bad?
Good.
All right, cool. Now, what about how does it compare to you? Do you think it looks better or worse? About the same to the Bronco Sport?
About the same.
Okay. Where would you rank those four?
The Maverick, then the Bronco Sport, and then the Escape.
Okay, well, actually, the Bronco is not built on the same platform, so I do know that
Right.
the Bronco is definitely cool. So you say the Bronco Sport, the Maverick, was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what was the then you'd have
The Escape.
the Escape and then the Corsair?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I think that's actually the same thing that I have recording. As well. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. We're on Twitter X under VisionQuest A, and we are on YouTube as VisionQuest Auto. We're also on Instagram and most other social media platforms. For VisionQuest Auto, this is Frank Nieto and Holden Nieto. Catch you around. Fly Eagles Fly.